Yeah, it's one of those things that if it would have been incorporated into it when it was originally built, the poles would have been this way another 3 inches,
3 inches.
and it would have missed the door the entire way. And, yeah, but
Did you find out if they have some of that green paint, extra green paint to paint the sign out there, the welcome sign?
I talked to Earl about it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
you have about that much left of the wall.
Well, they're gonna need more.
Well,
He's
the
gonna
trim.
start painting again.
Yeah,
Doesn't it need to be the darker?
Well,
he had about that much left of the dark in a 5-gallon bucket.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's a gallon.
I told him Guy likes to paint signs, so. Yeah.
You volunteered guy, huh?
Of course, Doug did the work on them, but Guy did the painting.
On the sign, what's out there,
Well,
there's
they're
one
they're
here,
gray,
and
they're
then
the
there's-
welcome signs, there's one on the,
okay,
On
and they're
the
brick with brown, so you gotta change the brown to green.
No, the circle,
there's
the circle out here has a welcome sign.
there's one as you come in the circle, and then there's one out facing the,
Oh, right here.
yeah, one
It's
there. And yeah, and then there's one over here, and of course
So
those are the
Did
blue,
these used to be blue?
yeah, or gray, it used to be gray, and so.
Okay, yeah, I didn't heard, I never noticed the color. So
Yeah. Just to match the church, it would
it
look
would be
better.
better, yeah.
Well,
Well, would it be better than the brown one out there to be green also?
Uh,
The brown goes with the brick
It
fine.
does, it's
Yeah.
fine, it's just the other one.
And eventually we'll do landscaping out there in front of it.
Yeah.
I've been trying to think I'll use heather there.
I'm gonna make like a raised bed.
Oh, yeah, raised bed. Mark's a
Hey,
raised,
Mark.
Mark's a raised
No, we're
bed
missing a
guy.
table.
I wanna get other people's counsel on that.
What?
Well, we're gonna do the landscape in front of the brick signs.
Oh,
We
yeah.
need a raised bed, but I want, if, raised beds have maintenance to them. I mean, depending on what kind of
What
material
doesn't?
you use for the raising.
Yeah,
Yeah.
since I think they're.
What about the Chinese method? No rain?
Well, you could do that, except it sags.
Actually, we got 3.
Well, it didn't
We had,
may have
we're gonna not
kept the
use
bugs
that for gardening, that we just
away,
put
but it
last year, so
just
it come out easy.
Well, that's
mushed
it.
into nothingness.
See, yeah, it, over time,
Yeah,
we,
you gotta have some boundary.
yeah, as a matter of fact, we've had to add
We
boundaries
did too,
along
yeah.
our walkway.
They can
Yeah.
get big,
Yeah, so you could use concrete blocks if you wanted, or,
depending on where you put them.
cottage
They
stone
would hide the
blocks.
sign.
or you could use another one
There's a lot of
that's
area
somewhat
out there.
Oh, there's
attractive,
a lot
is
of area.
that
Yeah.
corrugated
Filler.
roofing, but
Then they
it's,
have to be
it's
yeah,
galvanized, or it's not galvanized, it's silver, that sort
So-
of thing.
It's work.
But I don't wanna put just boards out there that are gonna
But,
rot
yeah, I
away,
love
and
hydrangeas. There used to be one right
even
here.
treated stuff doesn't,
Somebody cut it out of the ground, I don't know why.
don't wanna use river
I
ties.
remember seeing it, just like.
Yeah.
Hi, Master. How are you?
Yeah, I remember looking at it, it's a pretty
Good
flat.
job
I'm
on
not
that.
sure
Pretty
why
flat.
they did that, but
Discovery this morning
maybe it's visibility.
with the notes.
Oh,
Hydrangea that was there.
Yes.
That's cool, that fair area, but yeah, they took it right to the
And it
ground,
needs a little more.
which is too bad, cause it was pretty.
Yeah, it was real pretty color.
yeah, it was just
I see a dog go down here.
one of those things that he
Dog.
didn't mention,
Oh,
but he must have. Kathy knew as soon as I said something. She's like, "Oh yeah, it's over."
Pastor, what is our past
The terms of use to use the internet in the building is do not hack the internet of the building. I don't know. That you'll use it appropriately. No, there's just as Mike pointed out last week. I mean, the long and the short of it is it boils down to it allows people to access the internet while they're here, while not having access to anyone else's computer, especially the staff's. So, and then it's not completely throughout the building, but there'll be a guest 2A and 3A and 4A probably.
C4A.
Yeah, I don't know why, because I think 4A is the other end of the building. But anyway, I don't know how he's numbered them. You will, I think the way he's got it set up is you'll have to connect to each one of them individually, but it's the same password for all. So just re-enter the password, like if you go down to the fellowship hall and need it. He's going to work on the sanctuary specifically next, so then he's gone on vacation, so nothing's going to change for 2 weeks at least. But I approved him to buy 4 to begin with to test it out, and then from there we'll move forward. And so far things seem to be working well. The issue that we talked about last week that we finally figured out was the router downstairs, and because the wireless router was already up here prior to replacing the one downstairs, because we separated the phone from the internet, was that because this one was already here, it took priority of getting the addresses it wanted. And so once we unplugged that, then he went downstairs and unplugged everything downstairs and replugged it in, and then it was able to take its preferred address, which is the one that we wanted for the building. So that's the more complex part of it. But basically, the one up here that used to be the FLC wireless is no more. And because it's no more, it has now allowed the one downstairs to properly talk to everything. All of the printers, all of the computers.
So here's an interesting. I logged in on my iPad. Went to log in on this.
It's already there.
Already there.
Yes.
How's that work? Interesting.
Yep. Because I believe if it's turned on your iCloud feature, settings are. And so if you forget something on, you choose to forget a network for whatever reason, it will forget it on all your devices. If you hook it up, as long as it's the same Apple ID. So, yes. Yeah, it's kind of handy when setting up a new device too. It just
Speaking
knows.
of devices.
Yes.
I was just buying duck food, and I noticed that Walmart has Acer monitors on clearance for $59. I don't know if you're interested.
Oh, Acer monitor?
They're 19-inch.
Well, it's a screen for that's a good price.
We were talking about monitors last week.
Yeah.
External
Because
monitors.
see,
Yeah.
that's the reason I couldn't upgrade my desktop
Right.
to 10 because the one I had wasn't compatible.
Right.
Brian, I'm getting a problem occurred, the web page cannot be loaded.
When you went under the browser.
Well, when I put in password, I went to settings.
Mine did the same
Mine
thing.
did, I just
retried, and finally I just went out of everything, and then I clicked on the internet.
And it's
It
there.
was there.
Yeah, that's what happened to me too. I just
So
ignored that
out of
page.
everything.
The answer's in there. I'll find out in a moment.
Yeah, let's make sure everybody's working. Just so you know, I had a crazy morning, so I don't really have anything particular on the agenda this morning.
I don't know why.
Like one crazy morning, that's all.
Well, he retires, and then first thing that I wake up to is that a member's passed away. So,
Oh, what was that?
Donna Cheney.
Oh, did she? Oh my.
Yes. So I've just spoke with her daughters, and so we've got the details of the service. So I will now email out a prayer request.
Schedule
It's this Friday
this Friday.
at 2.
And Donna, was on our trip to Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a trooper.
Yep, and the Visors were
Yeah.
very faithful in bringing her to church when she
Yeah,
was well.
they did a
And,
good job.
yeah.
On this one, not then because of that. But are you going to do Pepsi with the preacher on the next Fridays after that? So we have some.
You don't need any days off.
Or is
I was trying to figure out how to. I don't know how to get in contact with all those people, but
He didn't pass on.
no, he actually what I don't know if it was permanent or if it was a temporary thing, but the whole reason why I sent out his final Thursday thoughts was because his did he tell you this on
No.
Friday? I sent out his final Thursday thoughts because all of his contact groups, his mailing lists, disappeared. He had all of his contacts still, but the groups
Right, I know the
were
problem.
gone. And so he said, "Can you send this out for me?" And so I did. So I don't have a list of everyone. If there was a way to get that out, I would. And yes,
Well, I can take it.
just tell a couple people that you're going to do it, and it won't take long.
Do you
Well,
have any way of getting in touch with him if you need to?
yes. Yep. In fact, he emailed me this morning with a picture of his truck and his camper, and they've got the kayaks on top
Are
on
they
the
gone?
kayak rack. Yeah, they left. They went to lunch. They went home, dropped off their granddaughter, and
Where they went?
away they went. They're gone for 5 weeks.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Now, while we're talking, I don't know, do you have any idea when we're gonna hear about an interim pastor?
Yes. Well, no, but yes.
Okay.
There essentially is only one person available right away, and Beth and I are meeting tomorrow morning over a late breakfast to discuss it. We've already had a few conversations, but we're going to discuss it some more. But it sounds like we are going to recommend this candidate to the council that they hire.
And when will that candidate be available?
I believe starting the second week of June. Which it works out anyway because Steve's compensation, I think I mentioned this before, goes till the end of May anyway. So we wouldn't be able to bring anyone on unless we wanted to,
Go further in debt.
yes, continue to pay 3 people instead of 2. So for the next couple weeks, it'll be me, and then, well, about a month, and then hopefully this person will come on, and we'll be on not the entire time, but then in November there's another person who's also said yes, and then that person would take on.
Is this person
Long
North
term.
Seattle?
No.
Oh, okay. Because that was going to add quite a bit of cost to.
No. Actually, I don't know where. I don't think this other person is very far, but he's the one that the council originally wanted.
Oh, okay.
He just is not available until November.
Well,
So
So, the one we will have until sometime in November,
or end of October. Sorry, through October.
and the one that comes out in November will be here until we have a permit?
That is my understanding.
Right.
Yes.
Well, that's interesting to know.
On
Yes.
computery type things,
Yes.
that's what we're here for. I got to think over the weekend when I was down at Costco, or actually it was last week, about getting a better cell phone, one that
Mhm.
has the computer and all that stuff on it.
Yep.
the
Smartphone.
internet,
Yep.
And maybe doing away then with my landline phone, but I would want it to be able to be hooked up somehow or another, so when my cell phone is at home and the phone rings, I can pick it up on any of my home phones.
So we just bought a new phone system from Costco that does that very thing. They've got 2 models there. The one that we bought was on sale for like $15 off, and it was 3 handsets. Becca wants more, but because we've got upstairs, downstairs. But I thought three's all right. Our current ones were I think it was just age, but they were.
So what will it do?
So you can connect your cell phone via Bluetooth to the landline phone. And then when you are home, when your cell phone rings, and I haven't actually tried this, I've connected it, but no one's called me in the week that we've no one's called us in the week that I've had it at home on my cell phone. But if your cell phone's in range, which should be for the most part in a home, then your home phones will ring when someone's calling your cell phone.
I have permanently call forwarded my home phone to my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
And that works very, very well without going into any new equipment. Because I've got a micro tower at home to boost the AT&T signal.
Right.
So I get an excellent signal at home now. And I really don't hardly use the phone.
But you have to have the iPhone with you,
Well,
or within range, or within grabbing range. Right?
well,
What if it's in the other end of the building?
the iPhone?
Yeah.
Well, it's not. It's always in my pocket.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what.
Well, but I believe with call forwarding though, you have to have a landline. Do you still have a landline?
Yes.
Yeah. So in order to call forward, it's got to forward to and from a phone number. Ken's talking about just eliminating the landline and just using his cell phone as his only cellular
So
option.
does that one, I'm looking at Costco's site right now, does that
Yeah.
one have a name to it or something, the phones you've got that's built right in to work with your cell phone or not?
I don't think it has a specific name to it necessarily, but it said, I mean, it was all over the box because that's what
Okay.
they're touting. So there were two of them from two different companies. One was AT&T, and it was a 4 or 5
Mark, you want some coffee?
handset unit, and then the one that we got was T3ch, and it was a 3 handset unit. But both of them on there said connect your cell phone to with Bluetooth 6.0 technology and yada yada yada. So it was all over the box. It would be pretty hard to miss.
So,
If
and you have a cell phone, and your wife has a cell phone too, probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do they both have the same number?
But the one that we got, the other one probably does too. So we got the T3ch one. It has an option for 2 phones to hook up to it with separate numbers. So there's an A and a B, and you push and you hold. It was pretty simple. You push and you hold down the A button, and then I got onto the Bluetooth setting on my phone, and it appeared as T3ch.
Okay.
And then I clicked pair, and then now they're connected. And then she would hold down the B button and do the same thing, and so then both phones would ring through the home phone.
Just like in your car, almost.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes, yes. Just like in your car.
You
My
need
phones that I
to
have right now,
re-enter the password.
which I got through Costco a couple years ago, I never knew what this was for, but it has a deal, it has phone 1 and phone 2 on the bottom for your cell phones. And
Yep.
This is for, it doesn't matter to me, so I do get it. So mine probably does have.
Already has that.
Oh,
12.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So
Capital C.
would you give up,
Connection.
I guess you already have given up a landline or just use
Not
cell
yet.
phone?
ECTIO.
It's an ongoing conversation between
Capital
Becca and I.
S. Capital
The whole
Capital S.
home phone, and she's got good reasons for why not to.
ST.
So home phone and cable. I'm looking at because we have a PlayStation entertainment system at home, and they offer a TV service, and significantly cheaper. And so to eliminate both phone and cable could cut our bills down by a decent amount per month. And so we're in ongoing conversations about that. She's more conventional and likes just the consistency and the guaranteedness of being with a cable company for all 3 services, and I'm trying to look at trying to cut the cables.
Question, if I discontinue my home phone line
Mm-hmm.
and somebody calls it, they're gonna get a recording, I assume, that says this number is no longer.
Is no longer in service.
Um,
Either that or someone else has picked it up, because they recycle.
Well,
They
but
have
that'll
to.
be down the road.
But that would be down the road.
A year or two perhaps.
Yes.
Are there any options to that? I mean, can
To be able to forward it, or
can the recording say the number has been changed to? I wonder.
I think you can pay, and I don't think it's very expensive, but I think there's a nominal fee that you can pay for like 30 days worth of call forwarding or redirection or something like that.
yeah, 'cause sometimes you get that message, I don't know
Right.
how
And
it
you
works.
won't pay the phone book.
No.
Well, we don't put
That's
ourselves
true.
in the phone book anyway,
And
so.
you reduce a lot
Yeah,
of your robocalls.
Yes.
And one more question on this then. So if we were to get one of these phones like this that has the internet on it,
Mm-hmm.
and we're out camping somewhere, and we don't have Wi-Fi connection there, can we turn that on or have that on? Could I go to my laptop and find that? Because I guess it's a hotspot.
It's
or
called a
something,
hotspot.
You
Yep.
can create a hotspot.
and
Yeah.
then go on the internet and get my emails and stuff down there?
Assuming where you're located out camping has cellular service.
Okay, and if it does, then
If it does, then yes. Yep.
You'll load
I
on
do
your
that.
phone. You don't need the computer. I mean, your email will be on your phone.
Well,
I'm
but
trying to read something on that.
I'll- Yep, I do that sometimes, especially in public Wi-Fi, and I've talked about concerns for privacy, but one of the other probably more major reasons why I do that very thing with this to my laptop or this to my iPad is more for speed than anything else, because public Wi-Fi can be so incredibly slow. And so even if they do offer free public Wi-Fi, like at Starbucks or McDonald's or something,
Well, he's just talking about
then I will sometimes, or even Urocco. Urocco has horribly slow Wi-Fi, but not all the time, but I like to go down there, and that's where I write my sermons. And I will actually connect to my phone because the Wi-Fi is so slow there that I can't load stuff that I want
So
to
your
load.
phone is the hotspot.
So my phone is a hotspot, yeah, and you just go into Wi-Fi and you see your phone located there and
So I
connect to it.
could do that at home also. So I could,
Mm-hmm.
maybe this would work. If my desktop could be Wi-Fi or plugged into the modem,
Mm-hmm.
so I could use this for also all my internet. I don't
You
need
could,
big
but you-
Comcast.
Just
That's what you're getting into at home, I think, isn't it?
no, we're still going to use internet
Oh,
because we're looking at. So we pay, which we don't always use, but sometimes we do. We pay for the big package. We pay for 10 gigs a month of shared data. But that's it. And you'd be surprised at how quickly 10 gigs, especially if you watch Netflix or any kind of video streaming service, you will chew through that 10 gigs like it really fast. So as a home internet replacement, and Mark would be able to speak to this really well, because up until recently, that was his only option. It's extremely expensive. Unless you decide to go with, they are now going, it's just kind of funny, the cycle of things. You started with giant cell phones and then you got really small. Now we're getting giant again. And I actually just saw an article on the internet today that said the way of the cell phones may be going smaller again. And same thing with internet packages for cell phones. They started really small and then they offered unlimited and then they took unlimited away from everybody because they were losing money. And now the new big thing right now is unlimited is back. It's not cheap, but you can get unlimited data. So if you decide to pay for that and you figure out that it's cheaper to have unlimited data on your cellular device and then having cable or internet at home, then you could do that kind of thing because cell phone companies are now offering unlimited data again. But if you just get like a 2 or a 6 or a 10 gig data plan, I'd be careful because you would probably eat through it pretty fast.
You know, one thing that eats up a lot of it is you have to be careful that you don't do the upgrades or the uploads from the very site, because that eats up a lot of data.
Mm-hmm.
You know, say you're not, if you set up to only load it when Wi-Fi is available, but if not, you can eat up a lot of data.
Via the cell phone tower.
Yeah, and the other thing is if you don't ever truly shut down your computers, they will probably in some way still use a little bit of data. And so you need to make sure that you shut them off when you're not using them so that they're not connecting to your phone and using that data up in the background.
I was reading a article this morning that the
We'll get to you,
iPhone 8
Richard.
might be out in October.
Yeah, there's all kinds of crazy stuff out right now. There's a lot of reports that the iPhone is running into manufacturing delays, which would push it past the September release
Past the
date.
holiday season. Then.
Yep, some are saying it would be not until 2018. They're saying that there's going to be 3 models out instead of just the 2. Now, Apple has stated that they are no longer going to use the Qualcomm chipsets inside anymore, and Qualcomm is now trying to sue Apple because Apple says, "Don't worry, we're not going to use your design or your, that we've been using for 10 years." And Qualcomm says there is no way that you can build a chip or find another company to build a chip that doesn't use our
Proprietary.
Yeah.
Patented.
Yeah, and so watching television, because TV is always 100% accurate. But I was watching a show, and they developed a product, but they could not get it below a certain percentage. And so I'm wondering if that's what this battle is about: is that you have to be below a certain percentage to say that it's not based off their technology. This percentage is, but that's at a point, everything has to be based on
public domain.
Yeah, it has to be based on technology because that's how things are done now. But it has to be below a certain percentage, and I'm wondering if Qualcomm is saying you can't do that. There's no way you can do that. But the contract is not for. They're not breaking. Apple's not breaking their contract until 2019. So this next year's cell phone is still under contract with Qualcomm. So I don't know why the internet is. Maybe because it's news, and so they're gonna make news about anything. But this next year's cell phone should not be delayed because of this Qualcomm Apple battle that's gonna ensue. So.
What do you think about the cell phones then? I don't know. Mine's the old flip phone, so I don't know about the S4s and 8s and whatever.
Yep.
But is it like computers that you better buy the latest one because 3 or 4 years from now it's going to be so out of date it's not going to work? They're not going to have upgrades for it, or would it hurt you to buy an S4 when they're at S8 now? It is still going to pick up telephone calls for you and get the internet. So what are they doing to make all these extra numbers? Are they
Faster
bigger?
processor.
Okay.
They're just like computers. They're putting in the latest technology every year. They're also hard drive sizes are getting cheaper to make them bigger, and so the last couple of years, the hard drive in them have gotten exponentially bigger, allowing you to because when you download an app, it takes space, and for the iPhone specifically, you can't insert a SD card into it. A lot of the Android phones you can, and so you can buy an external SD card so you can upgrade your.
Or you can I put a lot of programs over an SD card that aren't used very often.
Yep, and so that's a consideration. Upgrading to the latest operating system. It's very much a market of having the latest and the greatest, and so obviously that's not a huge concern of yours. I don't know that you could even find an S4 anywhere.
That's the latest one I remember hearing about.
The
That's
S8
where I
just
stand.
came out. So I would say you could probably find the S7 for sure, maybe the S6, but part of the product cycle is that the old products just go by the wayside, and the carriers won't even, or not necessarily carriers, but the cell phone companies, the stores, whether third party or direct, may not even have them in their store anymore.
But if you had one, it would still work.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless it was so old that it did not talk to the new networks. Someone, I forget who it was, someone else had a flip phone that was so old that they went and they said, my phone's not working anymore. They went to the store and they told me the story. And she went to the store and she said, my phone's not working anymore. I can't make phone calls. And they said, well, your SIM card is so old, it doesn't talk to any of the cellular towers anymore. And so she had to get a new phone because the phone also, it wasn't just the SIM card, but the phone also could not take a newer SIM card. And so the phone was just literally obsolete. Yeah.
How old was it?
I don't remember,
About
but
4 or 5 years.
it was
or
probably,
it 10 years?
no, it was like 6 or 8 years. It was really old. She just had never ever upgraded. Yeah. In cell phones, yes. Richard, you've been waiting.
I'm working between blonde and old here. My lady friend decided yesterday after my accident that my phone service is not good enough. She has an S6 phone, and she's through Verizon, so I don't know who's through Verizon here. Help me. She wants to get me an iPhone, which I've already tried through my carrier, and it was a piece of crap. We opened it up, I looked at it, I went, what's this phone? And they said, that's our version. I think I talked to you about that.
Yep.
I sent it back to them right away and got back they just credited my account. She's looking at getting me a phone, and she's not happy with her S6. I guess I don't know what her issue is with it. I use a phone for a phone and some internet stuff because I'm not smart enough to do like you guys are. I'm not, or I don't know how to do it. She wants me to get a phone, and she was talking about us being married together on the phone. So I think I'm going to be on her plan, the way I'm hearing it. But she was talking about where we have our own line together that's kind of oblivious to everybody else, and it won't cost us any money or anything like that.
Say what?
Huh?
I don't understand.
Now that's why I'm asking, because I didn't understand. I'm kind of, like I said, I don't understand the stuff.
That Verizon, you can call any other Verizon for free.
Oh, is it? Well, she was talking about where
It'd
she
be
could
like a
talk
family
back and
plan,
forth.
wouldn't it?
Yeah,
What is it?
Yeah.
yeah. There are
T-Mobile
plans.
used to have,
T-Mobile and Nextel had those too, where
push to talk type thing.
yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
now it's just you pay a flat rate and your phone calls are essentially free. It doesn't
You'll
make
have the
you-
same phone number though.
Any modern plan has unlimited
No, you have-
phone calls and text.
Well, I don't know if she's
Local
talking
and
about
long
me
distance.
taking my phone number and moving it to hers or
No,
not,
you wouldn't
or will
have
they do that?
Well, they'll.
No, you could
Yeah,
be separate. That'd be separate.
I'm concerned
Well,
about
it-
doing it
it-
because we're friends.
It sounds like what she wants to do is by combining your plans together, then you're paying just a little bit more.
She said $60 for the two of us.
Yeah,
That's probably about right.
possibly. Yeah, it just depends on what.
Well, I don't know. Again,
Yeah.
I
You'd have to find out all the details. But yeah, I mean, it's way cheaper for Becca and I to be on a plan together than it would be for each of us to have individual plans.
Well, what phone?
And
am
it
I-
gets even cheaper the more people you add to
Yeah,
it.
then they become like $10 for.
Yeah,
additional-
$10 for each additional
So
line.
if you take both phones into this little Verizon store over here, they'll do the whole thing.
Well, we haven't
and
done-
They'll get your number. brought
Well, we
over,
haven't
Right.
done
all
me
that.
yet. She approached
Yeah,
it.
but when you get ready, that's where you go, and they'll take care of everything.
Well, then but I was listening to S6, S8, S10. I want a phone that when I go push phone, I want it to work. I don't care about the other stuff. That's what I have this for. But I use my phone also on the internet a little bit.
Yeah, but it's like a car dealership. You go in, they show you everything from.
Tell them what you want.
They show you the whole line, and you can make a decision.
From the free
And then
ones
they'll
to
do it
the
all for you.
She's making, yeah, but I mean, am I talking when we go to Verizon store, which is probably gonna be this afternoon or tomorrow? And I'm gonna walk in there like this, cause I know nothing, and I don't know nothing about the Apple phones or nothing. What phone are we gonna get? They're gotta all be the same, right? They're gonna get an S8, 10?
no, I mean,
No, there's
it's like a car
50
dealership. You're
different
gonna see 50
phones.
different types of
And
phones.
they will explain it all to you in terms you can understand.
Karina
I mean-
has an iPhone and I have an Android.
Well, I have an
We have the
Android,
same
she's not.
same account, you know, we have separate phone numbers,
Mm-hmm.
and we pay for, you know, and we have combined data, you know.
So you're on this, that was gonna be my question, you guys are on the same plan, but you have one on iPhone and one on
Yeah.
Android.
Yep,
Yeah.
that doesn't matter.
And who's your provider?
Of Verizon.
They don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Our
could have.
data usage is low, so it's not to our advantage to, you know, we have, I think, 2 gigs of data. Well, we manage it very closely, and we don't spend our time on our phone like a
Don't
text
lot
a
of
lot.
people. We don't text, and we don't download movies and stuff onto our phone.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it does not matter. I mean, you can have an Android, a Windows phone, Apple phone, a BlackBerry, all on the same account. Verizon doesn't care. It just
The only thing would be the iMessage system
yes,
wouldn't.
those ecosystems or the Android, the new Android. They keep changing.
So if she uses her Apple, then it probably would behoove you to use an Apple.
Why?
Well, the iMessage system, for example,
Oh,
or
okay,
FaceTime
iMessage,
and those kinds of things.
Okay.
Similar
Right.
Platform
ecosystems.
specific.
Yeah.
Specific to Apple?
Right.
Yeah, so if you're on an Apple device, so you know if you open your Apple phone right now, your iPhone, you will see that anytime you text someone else who has an Apple phone, your conversations appear in blue. That's because you're using iMessage
I didn't know.
and it's blue to blue.
Okay.
And there's a lot more things that you can do with that, like sending the stickers and sending the little background party things that you can do now with iOS 10. If you text someone from an iPhone to an Android device, your side of the conversation, theirs is always going to appear the grayish color. Your side of the conversation will appear green. So that's the way to know if you're texting someone that's not an iPhone user. Is your side of the conversation will appear green.
And there may be a charge for that?
Well, no, because maybe, but most modern plans are unlimited talk and text, and then you pay for however much data you want. So technically, when you're actually using iMessage, the blue, you're paying for data, not for texting, because you're using Apple's proprietary service, which then is a data charge, not a text part of your free unlimited texting package, which is why cell phone companies are willing to give you unlimited text messaging, because most people use some kind of platform other than just texting now. Even Android phones.
What do you mean platform?
Meaning, like if you download Snapchat, that's still kind of texting. It's a social media style of texting, but it's texting, but it uses data. It doesn't use your texting package. If you use Facebook Messenger, that's data. That is not your texting package. All of those, if you use WhatsApp, any of those third-party texting programs will use data, not your texting package. You can go into your iPhone settings and turn off iMessages. Then every message you send will be a text message through your cellular carrier.
Which is free.
Which is, as long as you've got, which most modern plans, if you've got an older plan, you still need to be careful. because they did have limited texting, but that's been a number of years.
Well, I've
But
got,
if it's blue, it's a data charge. If it's green, it's a text message.
I've got an ordinary phone or an Android phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm comfortable with it because it's inside of my space.
Right.
I don't know anything about Apple phones, and you all.
Well, but you have an iPad, and the
But
ecosystem is basically the same.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
well, the thing is, I'm comfortable with my own phone, and I'm with Verizon. She's with Verizon. Like
You don't have to upgrade your phone.
No, she wants to get me an
I know.
Apple phone, and we had a bit of a discussion, but our discussions were like two-way people. It's like this when it comes to stuff like that. She says, "Listen, I'm doing this," and at that point it was
personal problem.
no, but I mean at that point it was the end of the conversation. Well, I mean I'm not trying to air something here. I don't mean to do that, but
No.
but it sounds like she wants me to get an Apple phone. I don't want one because I don't want to try and relearn all this crap again. But I'm going to probably get stuck with one, and then she wants to make it so our plans are married.
Right. One plan.
Yeah.
You're under one plan.
Yeah.
Yep. All I would say is that I would not be too overly concerned because you do have an iPad, and that's one of the great things about the Apple ecosystem is that if you have an iPad, the phone is going to look the exact same, just smaller.
Okay.
And it'll have an extra button where it says phone for you to make phone calls. Those will probably be the two biggest differences.
Okay.
It's got the same dock that you're used to and the same Square apps that you're used to.
Oh.
It's the exact same thing, just it makes phone calls and it's a lot smaller.
So then when we go to the store,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm going to guess is either here or Bremerton, I don't know. She doesn't Gig Harbor. I'm not sure.
Right.
What do we look for a phone? I don't know.
In
Like
store, your probably only option is either the 7 or the 7 Plus of the iPhone. Stores are not going to carry older models of the iPhone.
No, I wasn't thinking, but you're talking an S8 or 10?
No,
Or whatever.
that's Samsung.
Oh,
If you're talking S8, Samsung Galaxy S8 is the newest flagship phone for
well,
Samsung.
She wants
For
to do
iPhone, it would be the iPhone 7 or the 7 Plus.
Okay.
And the difference is the size of the screen. This is the 7 Plus. It's got a much larger screen. And then the 7 is
And so what are we looking at for across one of those suckers?
it also depends on the size of the hard drive. Whether you want 64, 128, or 256 gig hard drive.
We're senior citizens. I don't send pictures at all.
So you'd probably want the smallest one.
So are we talking like $500 for the phone? $400, $300,
No,
$600?
I think it's $599. Yeah, plus taxes.
Or you buy it by the month.
Or you can do a monthly thing, or
Well,
you can buy it in contract.
I'm just trying to figure this stuff out. I'm trying to get my feet on the ground. That's all. That's all I'm trying to do is get my feet on the ground, so I at least understand what we're doing.
Yeah, I think it's $599. I can't.
Well, I mean, like I say, I know these may be dumb questions for you all because you have Apple phone.
No, not everybody
I just
does.
lost it. I'm just happy with the phone.
Yep.
You know, and I got an iPad.
Or you can get this pretty product red Apple phone. That's like an extra couple $100 because of that.
Because it's red.
Yeah. Well, because the extra money. It's actually because the extra money goes to fight.
Breast cancer.
Thank you.
What?
AIDS.
AIDS?
So buy.
There's a dealer in Gig Harbor. I'm sure there's a Verizon dealer there.
Well, she just kind of pushed this on me yesterday. After the accident, a bunch of crap going on, and my phone ran out of power and on and on. And then she just kind of
32 gig. $649 pay in full. So it's $50 off.
When I was at Costco, they were telling me about, and I don't know if my phone was one of your boats, you could get it was 5 gigabytes of, I guess, data or whatever, But the phone was $178 or something like that. I don't know what phone it was, but it was had the screen on it and everything.
Yeah, well, there's so
And I sort of as a promo type thing, but
when we talk about of course, the iPhone only does one phone, two sizes of it, but they only do one phone. Samsung, you always see on TV about the Galaxy S8, the newest one, or the S7 Edge, which is the one that has the curved glass. Those are I said this term before, those are their flagship phones, meaning those are the ones that are the best, they've got the fastest, the best memory, everything. They're the ones that they put the most time and effort into creating to be the most competitive on the market. Samsung makes a whole host of other Android smartphones that don't cost as much, and then all those other things go down as well. They're not as fast. They probably don't have as much storage. Not as good camera, which I know isn't a concern for everybody. But those are just as you look at these different models, and then there's the LG. The LG G6 just came out. That is their flagship phone. But LG makes other Android phones that are not their flagship. That again, not as fast, not as much memory, probably not as good a camera. HTC makes smartphones. I don't know what phones. HTC's been in a bad place, so I don't know what their best phone is. You can get the Google Pixel, which is actually that's what HTC is making, the Google Pixel right now, but they can't brand it. That was Google's requirement.
so there's quite a variety.
Yeah, and then there's the new Chinese phones that are hitting the market like crazy. I don't know if they're in America yet, but they're the Huawei phones. And they all run the Android operating system because Google is giving away the Android operating system for free. And so then all these other cellular carrier or manufacturers make their phones, tweak the operating system to work with their specific device, and then sell it.
Okay, then, so if you use your phone and you get the internet on it because you want to be able to pick up the internet on your laptop.
Yes.
So the phone's just kind of sitting there.
Yes.
And you talk about the different amounts of gigabytes of information or data you can download.
Mm-hmm. Per month,
That's
yes.
like, does that same then just move kind of over to your laptop? If you go on and watch a movie on your laptop, is it still using up that same?
If it's connected to your phone.
Okay. So what if you come up on the internet and you want to watch a news ad and they got those silly ads in there that run for 30 seconds? That's still gobbling up your 5.
Yep, your phone's not going to differentiate whether it's something you actually want to watch or not. If you're on the internet and using that data, you're using the data.
So a 30-second, say a 2-minute between the ad and the news article you read is 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that going to be a gigabyte, or is that just megabytes, or is that?
It's probably going to be megabytes, but it's not an easy question to answer because it depends on the quality of the video. Because if you downgrade, whether you can do it manually, like on YouTube, you can manually select. It's automatically set to auto, and it'll auto go up to what it best thinks it can do with your service. But it's automatically set to automatic. But you can manually set a couple different settings of what quality picture you want, and that will determine, and I don't know, I can't tell you some mathematical equation to figure it out, but basically the lower quality, the less data you'll be using for that kind of streaming of videos. But yeah, the ad's going to take up data, and I can't really tell you how much it's going to use up on your device at that time.
I saw an ad with Fred Meyer for the Echo, Google's Echo for $159 and a $10 gift card with it.
It's on sale right now.
And then also I was reading.
I just saw that today.
That
49.
Apple is coming
Yeah.
out with a competing product. than Apple, because of course
Yes.
it's gonna be a lot better. Now, how true that is, we'll find out.
Yeah, Alexa. Yes, the Amazon Echo is on sale right now for $149 down from $149.99 from $179.99. So,
What is that?
it sits in your home, plugged into the wall, and you say, "Hey Alexa, what time is it? Or what's the weather like? Or you can say flash briefing, and it tells you what the latest headlines are, and
Play this song.
yeah, convert this into this," and she just automatically answers. How tall is Kilimanjaro? You just ask her whatever you want, and she'll answer for you. Yep. And yes, Apple is supposedly in the works of developing a smart home device to compete with it. There's also new rumors that Amazon Echo is coming out with a touchscreen version of the Amazon Echo, so that, because I guess people, I've never tried this, but people can use it to cook, and this is just one example of an application for needing a touchscreen. And so while you're cooking, you have to constantly say, "Alexa, what's the next step?" Or "What was the last step?" Or "Read me the directions again," or "Read me the ingredients." And so with a touchscreen, you can then just have the recipe on screen and not have to constantly re-ask Alexa what that next step or that next ingredient was.
So does
to-
that mean
to
that
create
thing
the
hooks
recipe.
up to your computer?
No.
Or what screen are you talking about then? I'm lost now.
No, a new version that they're coming out with is supposed to have a touch screen on it. So
I'm sorry.
this isn't the one. This is the one they currently have. And there's some, I haven't even looked, but there's supposedly some pictures on the internet of what it looks like.
Well, I can do that with this thing at home if I'm trying to do, I make different cooking things. I
Yeah.
can do it right on this thing here.
Well, yeah.
So I'm confused why if that's such a big to-do
This is
issue.
voice control.
It talks to you.
This
Yeah.
is voice control,
Oh,
and it'll talk back to you.
Well, and some people don't
my friend does that.
want or like the Apple ecosystem, and they like Amazon, and they've got lots.
So that's that thing you got on the screen, that's different than the round thing you were showing earlier, so that's a different kind of.
Well, but this would be their touchscreen version of the same device.
Echo.
Yes.
Rather round.
And again, these are rumors. This may not be what it actually looks like.
So that's a future product.
Yes. Yeah, and I don't know when it would come to. They know that it's in the works, and I heard on one of the shows I listened to that images were leaked. Whether or not that's legit images or just some. I mean, you can go online and type in iPhone 8 or any past iPhone before it actually came out. There's so many people on the internet that come up with concept art, and I mean, they do the full thing. 3D digital renderings of what they think the phone would, could, or should look like. And so this could just be someone's rendition and hobby of trying to figure out what, bless you,
Thank you.
of what the possible touchscreen Echo would look like.
I'm in this thing for where you have the iPhone thing up there. I think I was in this. I got iPhone 7 Plus.
Yes.
And I'm going down through all the stuff, and it's showing iPhone now in stereo, 3 speakers, and on and up, like that's what it came up like this. Is this what when we go?
Well, this is just showing you all the latest and greatest that the new iPhone 7 does.
So when we go to the store, they're going to kind of go through just what I have right here, and say you could buy this, or like, is that what I'm gathering?
If you're looking at just Apple, then it would be, here's the iPhone 7, here's the iPhone 7 Plus.
2 choices.
They might have the 6S and the 6S Plus.
Well, I know she's got it. I don't know. I know she has a 6.
Yeah.
And that's all I know. She's had it since, I think.
That'd be a year and a half.
No, she had, I think, August, September, something like that. and she went from an Android phone to that and loved it because she does that.
Right.
And
Yep.
So again, like I say, I hate to say it, I'm standing outside looking in, but I just to
Yep,
me,
and
it's
it
a phone.
depends on. I mean, some of the retailers are really nice, and some of them are.
Well, I know I'm just standing outside. I have
Yeah.
no idea.
So I'm just saying that someone might walk you through the whole thing and be really nice about it, and some.
Well, it's this store over here. I
sometime-
guess
yeah.
it's this one, and
Well,
I
I've
don't
never-
know about the
yeah.
other one.
But I mean, just
I
like
go to one in the
anywhere
mall.
you go, sometimes you get the right. I went to Applebee's 2 weeks ago. I had an amazing waitress, and then I was there this last week, and she wasn't. I mean, she wasn't bad, but we're doing. This is the last day of our cleanse that we're doing. It's been a 21-day cleanse, and so 2 weeks ago I said, I've got some specific requests. Can you work with me? And she said, yeah, no problem. And we talked all through it. And this week I said, I've got some restrictions. I need to know some, about this. And she was a little more grumbly about it and not quite so, okay, let's figure it out. And so you just never know. So you might have someone who will walk you through it, Richard, and you might have someone who will say, do you want the phone or not?
No, and I mean, I don't mean to
Yeah.
push me down. To me, it's a telephone. If it does other stuff, that's fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's just moaning because my phone ran out of battery. Well, I mean,
Richard, we're hearing a lot from you. Maybe we can hear a little bit more from some other people.
Sorry.
Either.
Go ahead.
It's a short one.
Yep.
I thought that the reason that we kept our landline was for emergency situations where if the towers went out for the iPhones and all the phones and stuff,
Right.
we have a backup. Now, is that a true, safe thing to say, or do we need
That's
to
getting
do
harder
better?
to answer now because so many so many home phones are actually VoIP, voice over internet protocol phones, even your landline phones.
They're what now?
Voice over internet protocol, so they're using internet service to establish a phone connection. So it may or may not, and
Do you need to call the phone company and find out if it is?
yeah, and one of the other things that you need to do is if you do lose power and different things like that, the ones that we become accustomed to that are like cell phones, they're the handsets that you just pick up.
Right.
If you really want to be careful and be prepared, you need the old style that plugs in. Yeah,
copper.
that plugs into.
And
No, not
well, no,
rotary,
but you need, but
yeah,
you
but
probably
they-
should have, if that's a
we have two
concern.
phones in the house that are directly connected to the copper.
But
with
if
the
they're
A's.
electric and the power goes out, they won't work. The
Yeah.
old ones will, on line voltage alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You can
it's
still
good
get
to
that.
have one that's
Yeah,
analog.
yeah, and if you've got
And
the
the
one
other thing
that.
about it is that no internet connected phone or cellular connected phone will attach to the E911 system.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
that was one of the.
That's a big one.
But because I think the hardwired phones we have actually have current going through them, and so even when the power is out in the house,
Unplug
they'll still work because
I
they'll
know
still
that,
ring
but you
because there's power coming
If
through.
you
from-
unplug it, you can find out.
Oh, okay,
And then
but
And then the other thing is you can call the 911 center and ask if they've got your address on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
oh, with a cell phone.
No, with your landline.
But they
yeah,
will not
they
with
might
a cell
not.
phone.
No, how are they gonna know? Your cell
No,
phone
yeah, they
in
don't know.
Canada.
They've gotten better with it because I called a number of years ago. I called 911 on my cell phone, and I got some county that was a couple counties
You
away.
used to get Pacific County.
Yeah, and we were out and about, so I don't remember. I have
But-
any clue, but yeah.
But if you pick up the phone now and call 911, they'll respond just to that.
Yes.
So if you're connected to the E911 system,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a good thing to have. You know.
So keep the landline
For that purpose, yeah,
for that purpose.
yeah.
Well, our modem and stuff, you know, our Wi-Fi system is through that modem and router, I mean, their modem.
But I think you can also turn on the E911 on your cell phone.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but that's GPS.
Yeah.
So
Yes, well, so
somebody's got to translate that to an address.
yes,
So, you know, if you're concerned about fire or stroke or heart attack or
yeah, if you're
wanna put
unable
the
to
phone down
communicate,
911
yeah,
and get them lights and sirens, you
Get
got to
local
have a
number,
landline.
yeah.
Did I talk a while back at all about the size that, this is a different subject entirely, about the size of, we were talking about computers and sizes and your SIM chips, and the size of the computer is in my hearing aids. Did I mention that?
yeah,
Okay.
yep, yeah, because we were talking about connecting to TVs and
Bluetooth,
different,
yeah.
and the Bluetooth, yeah, yep, they're, well, like I've mentioned, you know, the Raspberry Pi and the Beagle board and all those, they're the size of a credit card, and I mean, it's obviously not as quite the powerhouse that these computers are, but it's still a computer the size of a credit card, and
Well, when you were talking
well, these
about
aren't
that
much bigger than credit cards.
that Friday class and how it's going to get into you and tie into your brain and all that, and you're like, how could that happen? But with the computer in each of my hearing aids, as small as it is, and all that it can do, and if they wanted it to do more, they could.
Yep.
And it's just
Yeah.
unbelievable how small.
They're actually using you as an antenna, you go to broadcast, rebroadcast.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Well, we beat that horse to death. Now what should I
It's a good
buy?
topic.
So, because everybody here's Apple, I suppose if you were to recommend a cell phone, then you would probably say, well, Apple, of course. But
No,
you
I
just don't
I
care.
don't say that actually, because so many. I prefer Apple. I appreciate the. I like the functionality. I've got friends though who, and lots of people pick Android phones because you can tweak, which I know you probably wouldn't, but there's so much more you can do because it's an open ecosystem with an Android phone that you can't do with an iPhone. iPhone is basically locked down by Apple and can only do what Apple says it can do. Whereas an Android phone is more like a Windows computer where you can edit and tweak and do all kinds of things to it to basically fit your specific needs. And people have built custom ROMs, which is the basically brand new. They're still Android operating systems, but they've tweaked them so much to fit a specific purpose, and you can install that on an Android phone. And so you can have a Galaxy S8 or whatever one you want, and then go on the internet, download a custom ROM, and have it look and feel and act the way that you want it to look and feel and act. Obviously based on someone's design, but you can pick one that best suits you. And I've got a friend that does that every time he gets a new Android phone. It's like, I want this phone, but I don't want it to, because they put in their own specific things to make it run for Samsung or for LG, and he doesn't like that. And so he immediately goes out, finds the ROM that he wants, and then installs the new operating system on there.
So then you have to charge it every single night to keep the battery up. Or
It just depends on how often you use it.
But you never turn it off though, because it's your own
You don't
phone.
have to, no. Some people do. Some people turn it off at night, or, but no. If I don't use my phone much in a day because I'm on my computer, or I'm out and about and not really on it, I can get 2 days worth, no problem, on it.
Yeah, I think my battery must be starting to get weak because it dies a lot quicker. I have to charge it every night, even though it looks, well, it's got 50%. I say forget it, but
Yeah, 50% of what it can still
all
hold
of
as a
sudden
charge.
It's dead.
Yep.
Chirping at me.
Yep. So yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of good Android phones out there, and if Android is more of what you want, then I'd go with that. I mean, BlackBerry, I think BlackBerry came out with a new phone recently. If you're into BlackBerry phones,
That's a brand name.
Yeah. Well, it's BlackBerry does their own operating system too.
They've fallen on hard times.
They have, however, they are the most secure phones on the face of the planet, which is why that's the phones that the presidents
Very
have
government tends
used.
to use them.
Yeah, whoever it is, Secret Service, whoever, gets a BlackBerry phone, modifies it, and then gives it to the president because it's the most secure type of smartphone or on the cell phone on the market.
Here's a factoid for you. Shelton School District just put out an email that says that starting July 29th, everyone will have to dial the area code.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you have to hit a 1, an area code, or just the area code?
Depends on how landline, you gotta hit the 1 first.
Cell
On a
phones, you
phone,
don't.
You don't have to.
So if you just put a 1 on every single one and the area code on every single one of your numbers, and just that's it.
Well, I don't know, on cell phone, if you put in the 1, is it still gonna function?
Yeah.
1, 3, 6, 7.
If you have it in there, it works. If you don't have it, it works. Yeah, I've got some both ways in my phone just from when you can send contact cards to people.
Is
And
that the whole county one?
That's it.
It's the
Yeah.
Western Washington.
Oh,
Yeah, it's going statewide.
They're running out of phone numbers.
yeah, I think they're adding some more local number to it.
They're overlaying another area code on top.
It's too bad that they got some so close together, like 426 and 463
4, 6,
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you look at somebody's number and you dial, well, it's not the right.
we get called here all the time for roofing. What's the roofing on the highway?
Roof doctor.
What?
Roof doctor.
Yes. They always want to talk to the roof doctor. That's not us.